Ambassador Zixthon had dismissed humanity as irrelevant the moment their delegation shuffled into the Galactic Council chambers. Their pale, soft bodies seemed fragile compared to the chitinous armor of his own Krextari species. Their weapons were primitive projectile launchers, laughably obsolete against energy shields. Their ships barely achieved basic faster-than-light travel. When the humans requested membership in the Council, Zixthon had voted in favor purely out of amusement. That was 3 standard cycles ago. Now, as emergency klaxons wailed throughout the Council station, Zixthon wondered if his species would survive the next solar rotation. The crisis had begun with the Velnathi Empire's routine expansion into the Terran system. The Velnathi were apex predators, 8-foot-tall reptilian warriors whose empire had conquered 17 species in the past millennium. They viewed the humans' primitive defenses as a minor inconvenience, expecting total capitulation within days. Admiral Sarah Chen had other plans. "You want our surrender?" Chen's image flickered on every communications screen across Velnathi space. Her voice was calm, almost conversational. "Let me tell you about human history, Admiral Zixthon. We've been practicing warfare since we learned to sharpen sticks. We've perfected it through 5,000 years of conflict, and we've never, not once, surrendered our home world." The Velnathi Admiral had laughed, his forked tongue flicking dismissively. "Your species lacks proper combat instincts. You show mercy to enemies. You waste resources on non-combatants. You are weak." Chen smiled, an expression that somehow made Zixthon's exoskeleton crawl. "You're about to learn why that's exactly what makes us dangerous." The first sign something was wrong came when Velnathi supply convoys began disappearing. Not destroyed, simply gone, their crews vanishing without distress signals. Reconnaissance drones found the ships intact but empty, floating in the void, like ghost vessels. Then came the psychological warfare. Every Velnathi soldier began receiving personal messages, detailed information about their families, their home colonies, their deepest fears. The messages weren't threats, but gentle reminders that humans knew exactly where everyone they loved was located. Sleep became impossible as human voices whispered through their communication arrays at all hours, reciting poetry, telling stories, playing music that somehow bypassed their audio filters. "They're in our heads," one Velnathi commander reported, his voice cracking. "They know things about us that we've never told anyone." Admiral Zixthon tried to maintain order, but his fleet was already fracturing. The humans hadn't fired a single shot, yet his soldiers were requesting transfers, deserting, or reporting themselves unfit for duty due to psychological contamination. That's when the real war began. Human ships materialized throughout Velnathi space, not through hyperspace jumps, but somehow through dimensional rifts that their sensors couldn't detect until it was too late. These weren't the crude vessels from the first contact reports. These ships moved like living things, their hulls rippling with adaptive camouflage, their weapon systems unlike anything in the galactic database. "Where did they get this technology?" Zixthon demanded during an emergency council session. The human ambassador, a soft-spoken woman named Dr. Elizabeth Park, answered with unsettling directness. "We made it. 3 years of studying every species in this galaxy gave us excellent insights into your weaknesses. Did you know that Velnathi neural patterns are remarkably similar to our own cephalopods? Their command structure mirrors our ancient Roman legions. We've been preparing for this conflict since the day we joined the Council. The Velnathi fleet attempted to regroup near their capital world, but found themselves fighting an enemy that refused to follow conventional warfare. Human ships would appear, strike with surgical precision, then vanish before retaliation was possible. They targeted specific individuals rather than strategic positions, commanders, engineers, anyone whose loss would create maximum disruption. More disturbing were the tactics that violated every galactic warfare convention. Humans infiltrated Velnathi colonies not with invasion forces, but with relief workers offering medical aid to civilians. They distributed food, medicine, and entertainment systems that slowly turned public opinion against the war. Children began singing human songs. Adults started questioning why they were fighting a species that treated prisoners better than their own government treated citizens. "They're converting our population," Sekathan reported in desperation. "Not through conquest, but through kindness. It's unnatural." The war reached its climax when human forces surrounded the Velnathi homeworld. But instead of orbital bombardment, they transmitted a simple message to every screen on the planet. "We could have destroyed you on the first day. Your fleets, your colonies, your families, all of it could have been ash before you fired your first shot. We chose not to. We chose to show you what humanity really means. The question now is, what kind of galaxy do you want to live in?" Admiral Seskthon found himself facing a choice no Velnathi commander had ever confronted. Surrender to an enemy who had already proven they could have won without fighting at all. When the surrender came, it wasn't delivered by military commanders, but by civilian representatives who had voted to remove their own government from power. The Velnathi people had chosen humanity over their own empire. As Zixthon watched human ships peacefully enter Velnathi space to begin reconstruction efforts, he finally understood what made this species so terrifying. They hadn't won through superior firepower or tactical brilliance. They had won by refusing to become the monsters their enemies expected them to be. The galaxy had indeed underestimated humanity, not their capacity for violence, but their capacity for something far more dangerous, the ability to remain human even in total war.